Hello. I should be live. Yeah, I'm a minute early. I live by my own rules. Oh, jeez. And I am, because I didn't mute my other screen. That's better. Wait to see if a few people show up and start chatting, see what people want to talk about. I'll tell you one thing off the bat is that, hey, TJ, Wingnut, welcome. Glad you could make it. I'm watching one of the Comic Links auctions right now. It's ending shortly, so it should end while I am streaming. So it will either be me making a huge mistake and spending too much money, or me being wildly disappointed that I didn't spend too much money to win it. So we'll see. Comic Head 84, what's up, buddy? Speaking of Comic Head 84, he was one of the fine gentlemen who contributed to my community project for the State of the Union. And I started editing that today, and it is a much bigger undertaking than I had anticipated. So might be a little while before that comes out. But should be hopefully pretty good when it's done. And thank you for your contribution. And I don't know, maybe I'll do the drawing tonight. I haven't really thought about that yet. I gotta do that sometime though for the giveaway books. So for those of you just joining, if you didn't stop by for the last time I did this, basically it's just an open forum. Whoever wants to talk about whatever. Hey, Big Snake DS, thanks for joining. Whatever we want to talk about is cool. If you want to jump in on the live stream, hit me up on Instagram or my email, and I'll just send you an invite and we can chat about whatever. John's Comics with Kids and JD joined last time. It was a lot of fun. And in the meantime, I'm just, if you see my eyes darting around because I'm watching this auction, Mr. Gorell, what's up, buddy? I do have a few books to share as well that I got in a haul earlier. SWP Goat 99, thank you for joining. I don't recognize your names, so welcome. I apologize if you've been in before. You can call me Big Old Jerko if you were in last time. Comic Link, yes, DS, Comic Link. It's not a book, Wingnut. It's actually some original art, which is why it's, you know, the one-time chance type of deal, which is the only reason I'm even considering it. I am new. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoy this and that you stick around for a bit. Hopefully we can start some dialogue. Is there anything you'd like to chat about? Yeah. I watched that DS. That was very cool. And I did see a bunch of those books when I was browsing. And, you know, if I were a different man with a different wallet, I would have definitely been interested in some of those. They're very cool. Yes, I concur, TJ. It was very good, as was your LB Cole video. So if you guys haven't checked out DS Comics' recent videos or his older videos, definitely a channel worth checking out. Yeah, you and me both, I'm sure. So there hasn't been any movement on it in about half an hour, so we'll see. 11 minutes left. The suspense is killing me. In fact, I'm going to take this off because I'm getting sweaty. Well, if no one has anything particular to talk about, I'll show off some books that I got. I got this John's Comics with Kids. Hey, Tony, what's up? Thanks for joining. John's Comics with Kids, one of his friends who I guess is a dealer, not entirely sure, is getting out of the collecting game for his personal collection. And he sent me some videos. He's flipping through his books and he's like, hey, here's some stuff he has for offer. And so I was like, oh, Hulk Nuts, what's up, buddy? He's like, if you see anything you like, just message him on Instagram. His name's Joey's Comics. I think he still has a bunch of stuff. Jeffrey Comic Con. Jeffrey Comic Con is going to be on New Comic Book Day Book Club on John's Comics with Kids channel tomorrow night, 11 o'clock, reading Die from Image Comics. Very excited for the book and our guest. Should be a good time. Stop by for that. So Joey's Comics, Instagram, hooked me up with a great deal. So I'll show you in order of what I feel is importance. Yeah, TJ says I put the first appearance of Green Hornet on my watch list, but at 6K there was no way it was going to stay. Yeah. Yeah, that this Comic Link auction is dangerous. So I had just picked up one of these from a 50-cent bin, but it was ragged. I showed it in another video of mine. This is a nice crispy near mint copy. So I threw that on the stack. I got this little spec book, Stars and Stripes Zero. Pretty cool book. It also stars Starman. I got another copy of Descender 1 because I love this book, and it is signed by Dustin Nguyen. And for those of you following me on Instagram, you already saw that because it came with this nifty little sketch of Tim 21. So cute. I think Dustin Nguyen's a really amazing artist. If you don't read Descender or have not seen his stuff he did on Batman, I believe it was Detective Comics. Those two things that pop into my head that he's done. Really awesome, like watercolory, just cool stuff. Got 3 more books from this haul. Not a huge DC guy, but these are all DC books just because had the opportunity. And one of them is this showcase, first appearance of Dolphin. I just love this cover. As you, if you're a regular watcher of my channel, you know I love minimalist covers, and I feel like this falls into that that space of just large areas of negative space. I just won trivia over on Reggie's channel, and I picked the Catwoman with the red background, which I feel like is reminiscent of this in some ways. A little bit heavier on the boobs on that Adam Hughes Catwoman cover. It's issue 70 if those haven't looked it up. And this copy is pretty nice. It's got some creasing, but color's great, presents really well. Pretty happy about that. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Buddy Christ. Are you talking to me or are you talking to someone else in the chat? Either way, thanks for joining. Senior D, what's up? Anyone else join that I missed? Yeah, that Adam Hughes cover is, I mean, not that he does a lot of bad covers, but that one's pretty choice. I was really excited to win that. Grabbed a Forever People #1. It is very much coffee colored in the pages, but the cover is actually really nice. Again, besides the browning, it's got some vibrant color still, and cool first appearance, cool Kirby book. Just you know, I feel like it's a key to own. Buddy Christ, you said your channel is unique. I have to assume you're talking about someone else, but if you are talking about me, I appreciate it. And the last book I got because this is one of my all-time favorite covers. Aquaman #5, just killer whale goodness. This actually presents much better on camera than it is. It's got some big, you probably can't see it, but some big creases up in the corner. And but I don't. This is not something I need in high grade. This is just something cool I wanted to have. Yeah, Tony, me too. It's a great one. So that was a little haul I got from Joey's Comics. Really happy with it. 5 minutes left on the auction, ladies and gents. Should I go for it or should I not? I want you to chime in. I don't know if the chat comes through first or if, oh, word. Okay, so I can see the chat before you can hear me. Still getting used to that. Get it. Yeah. It's easy when you're talking about someone else's wallet, Jeffrey, but I appreciate the support. We'll see. It's got 4.5 minutes left. Danielle, what's up? Tony, I'm looking at some original art on a Comic Link auction. Yeah, DS, that's great advice. Don't cheap your last bid. Pay what you're actually willing to pay. Yeah, I mean, because let's say I'm willing to pay theoretically $1,000, then I'm not going to put 800 hoping that someone doesn't bid it above that. Bake, I do like the artist. It is from my favorite series, and it is a very unique piece of art, and it is not within my budget. That's the problem. Tony, bro, what's up? Glad you're here. So I saw the video you tagged me in. I have not ignored you. I am hoping foolishly that my CBCS order comes back because it's got a book in it that I want to include in the video. So if it doesn't come back, probably, or if I don't get any movement on it within a week or so, I'll probably just do the video with an update to the race. Comic Books NYC lost exactly like that a few minutes ago. Yeah, LOL CBCS. I tried to call them today. I did not have as much luck as I did last time. They did not answer. Yeah, Comic Head 84. I don't know much about OA either. I only have a couple of actual published pieces and then a bunch of sketches. I assume since they're all one of a kind that the value kind of typically holds if it's something that's popular. But people who are more versed in original art can chime in and correct me on that. All right, it's down to 2 minutes. Yeah, RB3 is a great resource for original art for sure. I am bidding on, well, I don't know if I'm bidding yet. I still have a minute and a half to make up my mind. Should I switch over to that on my screen, do you think? There you go. Yeah, suspense is killing you, Jeffrey. What do you think? How do you think I feel right now? Now everyone knows what I'm going for and they can snipe me. Now we wait. And if I win, I have to figure out what to sell. Did I win? Someone snipe me? Womp womp. What did it go for? Where can you see that now? $1,100. Damn, that jumped. Well, that was more than I was willing to spend, so I guess I feel okay with that. How do people do that good as gold? They either have it queued up in the thing and just hit it at the last second, or I know on eBay there are apps that snipe for you. Yeah, Wingnut. Hey, Just a Rican, what's up? Fire Guy Ryan, what's up? Yeah, so for those of you who aren't familiar with Terry Moore, Strangers in Paradise, that piece was from a calendar he did a couple of years back, but it is a swipe of the cover of issue number 1, which is actually behind them. Here, let me go back to it. What's going on here? Well, I don't know why it won't let me screen share anymore. I think I broke things. Anyway, let me grab the comic. I'll show you that way. Sometimes I bet on things secretly hoping to lose. Yeah, I've done that before and ended up winning stuff. So there is the actual cover of issue number 1. So that is in the background of that piece of art. So it was like, you know, the closest thing that I would have come to actually owning the cover of issue number 1. You know, that's kind of why I was willing to spend outside of my means for it. But it's all good. Yeah, that's how I ended up getting my Ghost Rider number 1, by throwing a bid on there and I said, well, there's no way it's going to win it. Someone will bid well above that, and nobody did. So I got it for a steal, but still money I probably shouldn't have spent, but got some immediate equity in it if I ever needed to move it, which now I don't want to because it's an awesome book. So again, I know it's daunting to jump in live and not really have a plan, but if anyone wants to chat and go put yourself on the waiting list for that item just in case, I'll do that. Thank you for the advice, DS. Just have to figure out how to do that now. Thank you, TJ. TJ just sent me a message saying he's sorry that I didn't win. It's very nice, but I'll be okay. I have a great piece of Terry Moore original art from the comic, which I love, which I can't show you because it's on the wall. And this is a desktop. Anyone reading good books lately? Yeah, man. What are you reading, Bake? Yeah, Fire Guy Ryan. I think all cats bite bags, which is why I try to keep my cats out of this room. Because one of them is a wild animal. They're both very sweet, but one of them's a wild animal. The punk's gotta pay. I usually just shove them out. The dog is usually the one who gets the water bottle because she whines a lot. Very excited for Martian Manhunter tomorrow. Yeah, good as gold. I don't know anything about the creative team, but looks pretty cool. Black Hammer's really good, big for sure. The thing that's gotten me most excited lately is Heroes in Crisis. And again, I'm not a huge DC guy, but Tom King is knocking it out of the park. And the other thing that really has blown my mind recently is Mr. Miracle, another DC book by also Tom King. So I guess I'm just a fanboy. Your cat will get his revenge. Yeah, cats, don't forget. What's up, Reggie? Thanks for joining in, brother. Kind of sounded like Hulk Hogan there for a second. Thanks, brother. Mr. Miracle, Darth Vader. Also very excited about Die tomorrow. Again, plugging myself again for a new comic book day book club. But Stephanie Hans, I think, is a great artist, and it's her first ongoing book. So should be pretty cool. Made an offer on a book tonight, and it was accepted for 125 less than asking. I should try that more often. Yeah, TJ. A number of times I've just offered stuff on eBay for way less than I think it's going to be, and yeah, people have accepted. So the worst thing that they're going to say is no. I've never gotten a nasty email, thankfully. And if I do, who cares? That's their problem for being a jerk. Mitch Gerards is going to be doing Batman 62, I think. Is that true, Bake? That's pretty awesome. I like his work a lot. I just got a text from someone saying that Reggie, we're talking about whatever you want to talk about, brother. I just got a text saying I should bring up the topic of if I think Beckett bailed on CBCS. Or do you think they bailed out CBCS, or do you think it was a business investment? Yeah, I don't know enough about how well CBCS was doing. I feel like they probably would not have had a reason to bail them out. I feel like it's more likely that they do other grading stuff, I believe, with cards and stuff like that. So I'm guessing they just probably wanted to buy them for their infrastructure that was already in place. That would be my guess from what little I know about business. Both probably Big Snake says, yeah, it's certainly possible. Companies don't sell unless companies usually sell for one or two reasons. Number one, they need to sell because they're floundering, or two, someone offers them a deal they can't pass up. So Which one of them was it? Steve Borak did a guest appearance on New York Warriors somewhat recently. I watched it. It's worth checking out if you haven't. President of CBCS. Very cool. Comic Books NYC. How do I get him on my channel? I know. Home of the New York Warriors has a few more followers than me, but they may have sold it if they couldn't keep up with the growth. It's possible, but yeah, it could have been a mutually beneficial sort of thing where, Beckett promised A, B, and C to help them grow, and then CBCS got something out of it, or Beckett got the infrastructure, but there's more than enough business for CBCS and CGC right now, both of them getting more submissions than ever. Yeah, which is their excuse for why it's taking so long. But at this point, the move was long enough ago that they can't use that as an excuse anymore, and they should be catching up, in my opinion. And honestly, like I've said this before, the most frustrating thing for me is not that they're behind, is that there is no communication. And they have this Google Docs spreadsheet calculator. It's called a turnaround time calculator they set up, and you can put in the date you submitted your books, and they'll tell you when the original expected date was, and then it shows you the estimated delay on that. And for me, it says 4 to 6 weeks, which was 2 weeks ago, and it's still not even in grading. So if they just updated that and said, hey, it's going to be 4 more weeks, that sucks, but at least I know what to expect. TJ Watson. Yeah. TJ Watson said, from what I understand, it was just an offer they couldn't refuse. Yeah. If that's, is this a real company? Reggie says, did you say Google Docs? Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know what the heck they're doing. Is this a real company? CGC turnaround time estimates are pretty spot on. Yeah, I will find out shortly when I get my books back from CGC as well, including 4 copies of that ASM, what is it, 328 with Hulk on the cover that you convinced me to pick up, DS. Hopefully you're all 9/8. Google is a real company. I bet they use Google Docs. Yeah. I think that's a little bit different. Comic Books NYC. I think it is a little weird to be like, here's a customer facing thing that is like, just plug in some numbers and we'll show it. Like, even if it was just a blanket email that said like, sorry, we're experiencing delays. There's been no communication if you don't go on their message boards. Use this abacus to determine the stork shall arrive with your comics. Yeah. It's like a Indiana Jones adventure. It's like using a sundial to line up with a staff with a jewel in it. Did these companies ruin comics, or how they did baseball cards? I wouldn't say that. Like you're talking about Dre Von Doom, you're talking about value or the hobby? I had a middleman service handle signatured CGC books at a con. They don't return my calls. Yeah, Comic Head, that sounds sketchy for sure. Planet Collectibles, but I've heard of them before, so they're like a legit company. Other than that, I don't know. Both in a sense. Well, I can tell you, if you haven't seen Reggie's Blue Chip video on Blue Chip Comics, in the last 8 years, some of those books, man, if like I think back to when I was a kid in the 90s and like, oh, I could have bought Giant Size for this much, or I could have bought an X-Men one for this much, but like I was a kid, so of course I didn't have the money. But like even it was shocking to see the prices of some of these books 8 years ago in 2010 compared to now. And if I had the foresight to even buy those books, which were still like $2,000-$3,000 maybe, but are now 5, 6, 7 times that. Tony, they should at least give a refund CBCS. Yeah, I felt that way when I fast tracked it and paid extra for an order, and it took 12 weeks, which was the normal turnaround time that it should have been. But Sean Prince, do you like black metal? Yeah, man. I don't like the politics of it, but I'm a fan of the music. They were expensive in the 90s, but the numbers seem crazy now. Yeah, well, they were expensive in the 90s. For me as a teenager, when I didn't have money. Well, not like I have a ton of money now, but when I really didn't have money, I was like 13, 14, probably in the early 90s. I don't want to say maybe. I know how old I was in the early 90s. But before I could even have a job, and I would go to conventions. Like I remember seeing Giant Size at conventions for like a couple $100, but it was just out of my reach because I was buying $5 comics, not $200 books. So, and those are probably high grade too. Direct is the best way to go. Yeah, for sure. I mean, anytime you use a middleman, it raises questions. Hello, Sign Comics. What's up? Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'm 38, Dre Von Doom, so I'm right around that same age as you, where like I could have gotten Amazing Fantasy 15. Like if I could go back, if I could pay now what Amazing Fantasy 15 was when I was in junior high. I mean, that's a stupid thing to say probably, but a buddy of mine was asking today, actually totally unrelatedly, we were chatting about comics, and he's like, oh, I feel like I should, just buy like a nice high grade Giant Size at this point. And I said to him, I was like, I don't know, because on the one hand, I feel like DS, that's heartbreaking. I passed up on a TMNT #1 first print for 25 cents in 1986. Woof. But what can you do? On the one hand, like it seems like it's at a high point that it couldn't go any higher, so it's a bad time to buy. But on the other hand, I would have said that like a year ago. So yes, let me send you an invite. Wait 1 second, guys. I don't think you'll be disappointed in that awkward pause. Or this one. Definitely an MCU effect. Yeah, for sure, Comic Head. I think Fantastic Four and X-Men must have room to grow. Yeah. I would say I would think so, but at the same time, like Fantastic Four #1, I think has already seen that like pre pre-boost. Got my GSX a few years ago for 1,400 for 9.6. That is a solid investment, TJ. You're a wise man to have picked that up at that price, because that is a much more expensive book now. Better undervalued books to invest in. Yeah, I would agree, DS. He said stay away from X-Men 1, Fantastic Four 1, AF-15. I think those are books that everyone is going after right now, and like even something like Eternals #1, I feel like would be a better investment if you're looking at strictly dollar for dollar return. Because like you might buy an AF-15 for 15 grand and it goes up to 17 grand and you made $2,000. But if you buy an Eternals #1 for 150 and it goes up to $300-400, you know, your money back on what you paid is way higher. Daredevil 1 is on my 2019 list. I'm hoping it dips a bit selfishly. Comic Books NYC. Yeah. Marvel Spotlight #5 is my big book I want to get next year, which is another, for me, very pricey book. My biggest surprise is Hulk 181, bought 9 years ago for $29.75, 9.4. It's another fine investment, TJ. Strange Tales 110 and 5.5 just sold for $1,800. That's a great price. Yeah, I think that's another thing. And you know, a lot of people talk about this, but buying books in mid-grade, a lot of times you get better return on investment. You don't necessarily get the dollar amount back. Like you don't net like as much. But hey, there he is. I see what's going on here. You had to change your shirt.
Yeah, I had to change my shirt. I had to put on my White Whale Comics t-shirt. Gotta represent.
I appreciate you wearing a shirt with sleeves for me, Reggie.
Yeah, I thought I'd hook you up. You know, got a little dust on it. It's been hanging up since you sent me this thing, man.
Yeah, well, I thought, you know, if I had known, I would have cut the sleeves off before I sent it to you.
All right, so what are you guys talking about in here? It took me like 10 minutes to get set up. What are we talking about?
We're talking right now about investment comics and what is worth sinking your money into. And I was just talking about like return on investment for like DS was saying that, you know, buying something like an AF-15 isn't the best investment right now because even if it keeps going up, what I was saying is that, you know, let's say you spend 15 grand on it and it goes up to 17, you're making $2,000, which is great, but like your percentage increase isn't as much as something that might have more room to grow. The example I gave is Eternals #1, which, you know, if you buy that for $150 and it goes up to $400 or something right now, you're not pocketing as much money, but you're getting way more money on your dollar back.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the things. Like, there's a lot of like really smart people out there, you know, and DS Comics is definitely one of those guys that spends a lot of time like analyzing data and numbers, and I mean, he's given me a lot of things to think about, you know, and I think that what you're describing right now is definitely accurate, right? Like AF-15 is one of the books that I would love to get, right? But if you're looking at this, to your point, from like an investment standpoint, well, I should say return on investment, that may not be the best way to go, right? Because first you have to sink, you know, 15 grand in the book, right?
Which is not insignificant.
No, that you know, that's a significant money, right?
I don't care if you're balling or not, but
brother, that 15 grand. I mean, first you got to explain it to your wife, right? I mean, no, even if you are, but but spending a couple of $100, you know, 3, 4, $500 on a decent low grade book, that has a better chance to get you a solid return on investment. And the reason, at least in my mind, is that that price point is low enough that your pool of available buyers is bigger versus like how many people can actually buy AF-15 for 15 grand, 16 grand. You know what I'm saying?
DS said you can get a Hulk 2 in a mid-grade for $2,000 for a Screen Hulk. Yeah, I mean, compared to Hulk number 1, which is just outrageously priced, sure, like that's a more solid investment.
Agreed.
And Comic Books NYC said, for me, AF-15 is about my love for Spider-Man, not the investment, which is, yeah, I totally agree. Like, there are books that I've bought, Giant Size 1, like I bought that because that's like the book I've always wanted to own. And if I don't ever get my money back on it, that's fine with me.
But here's the great thing about AF-15, right? I mean, you know, because at the end of the day, that book for me is a book that I want to own. It's not necessarily about return on investment, right? So I think that's an excellent point that he's making. And the reality is that that book is going up, I think, like $500 a year, you know? So there is definitely some return. But the point is, I thought the question was around like return on investment. And if that question, then that's a different kind of subject from I want to buy AF-15 because I want AF-15. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And, but at the same time, like, even if you're buying it for yourself, you don't want to get hosed on it. You want to go down 5 years down the line and say, oh man, if I just waited, I could have saved $10,000.
Yeah. I mean, the reality is that everything, man, it's getting out of control. And I think to your earlier point, when you look at that time span between 2010 and 2018, the prices are just crazy. You know what I mean?
That blew my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I suspected that there was going to be a steady increase in Silver Age books, especially the ones that we chose, right? Because you gave me input on some of those books, right? So I expected there to be that upward trend over time. I did not anticipate such a precipitous increase from 10 to 18. And so I think maybe if we had looked at every incremental year from 2010 to 2018, maybe you would have seen like individual step ups versus us just mapping the 2 points, that being 2010 and 2018, you know?
Sure, but even still, it was like that's a steep mountain either way, even if you, and the Flash book is what really, that one really caught me off guard. Like I didn't know that.
The, what was that? Spotlight 4, I think. It was Spotlight 4. Somebody made a recommendation that, you know, we should have looked at what the economy was doing, minimum wage rates, marketplace events that were taking place like over the span of that time. And my counter argument back to that was along the lines of, it doesn't matter to me what was happening, right? I mean, you think about it, multiple presidents, you had wars, you had terror attacks, you had oil crises, I mean, bubble, housing bubble, comic bust, you name it, we encountered it, and that trend line still looks the same.
Sure, right. Like to your point, if you did year over year, maybe you would do this a little bit, but like it's still doing this.
Yep. And I mean, the unfortunate thing about Overstreet is that you're looking at a single point in time, right? You're not looking at
month to month
action every day or every month. You're looking at 1 point in time per year, which again smooths out the trend line, but the trend line is still what it is, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think DS says Fantastic Four 48 is a good investment. Go for like a 6 or 7, solid long-term book.
Which one did he say? I missed that.
Fantastic Four 48.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that's why I had 2 of those in the box.
I was gonna say you got a couple of those, right?
Yeah, man. But no, who convinced me? RB3 is the one that convinced me when he did his analysis. Because I was looking at like a 7, and he did his analysis and he broke it down. He was like, "You will have better return on investment for like a lower grade, and you also have to shell out less money, which means that you have more money for other things." I was like, you know what? that is a smart analysis. I'm going to go right where I am. And that's why that 4 is back there on the wall. And then I have I think a 3.5-ish in a box.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, more comics is more comics. That's what we all want, right?
Yeah. Good as it gets says 2010, we were coming out of a recession. Yeah, but again, I mean, that does play a huge role. But again, you're talking about mapping these comics back to 1975. That's 43 years of time. And the trend line still looks the same. It is a steady increase every single year for 43 years. And there have been multiple recessions. And the trend line is still an aggressive one, you know?
Lois Lane 70, that's the first appearance of Catwoman DS. Is that correct? What's up, Shane? Welcome. Sorry, you're late. Still having fun? So I realized, Reggie, that how long have we been chatting, like outside of YouTube, since before I started, which was 3-4 months ago?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is the first time we've actually talked.
Yeah. No, we've had a lot of offline conversations.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, like face to face, it's weird. Like I feel like I know you so well, but like it's the first time we've like actually
had an actual
conversed. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those things where it doesn't feel awkward to me because we have so many conversations, and I've spent time staring at your face enough.
Yeah, right. which I apologize for.
It is all good, brother. You are hilarious. First Silver Age appearance. What is he talking about here?
Of Catwoman, Lois Lane 70.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is weird. I think that's why I've looked at that book before, and I think it's why it's kind of a lower price for a major character, because it's a weird book for her first appearance to be in. Like, it's not in a Batman book.
TJ Watson is making the point here that he's surprised that certain books that he's been watching are finally starting to pop. Books like Daredevil 1, Spider-Man 3, and Avengers 4. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely agree with that, you know?
I still think Daredevil 1 is super undervalued.
I agree with that. Not just because I own it now.
Yeah. Very convenient. I think Iron Man 1 is another one of those books that I can't believe is not. I mean, you look at that compared to something like Hulk 1, and I know they came out at a different time, but
yeah, I mean, the struggle
bargain.
One is, he appeared before, you know, and I think some of those earlier appearances get, you know, what was that, Tales to Astonish, I guess, get more attention than his solo title, but his solo title is definitely undervalued. You know, there's no doubt about that. Same thing with Daredevil 1. I mean, that book is actually a decent read. I took some time to read it a couple months ago, and it was actually a decent read, but it is definitely undervalued as well, you know?
DS says to TJ, 7.5 is a great grade, because TJ said, I think 7.5 is going to be my new 8.0. I would say even a 6.5 is a great grade.
Or 7.5.
Oh, all right. You're going to play that game?
No, brother. I'm just happy to have that. That was one of the first big books that I actually purchased, man. And that for me at the time was a lot of money. I was not accustomed to paying like big dollars for a book, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'm still, when I came back a year ago, for me, it was still like in my head, like childhood prices. You know what I mean?
You drop $20 on a book, and you're like, oh man, I want a big book today.
I gotta go home now. You know? But, you know, so that's where I was coming from. And these prices when I came back were just a completely different ball game, you know?
TJ says 9.6, I win. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, TJ, yeah. Let's not play that game.
And DS says,
go ahead.
DS says, I'm happy to get 4.5 is what I buy. Yeah, and it's all about like that perspective, right? Like if you're buying modern books, like I'm not going to be happy with a 4.5 of something that came out a month ago. Yeah. But when you're looking at Golden Age pre-code horror stuff, like 4.5s, even like 1.5s in certain books, like I know Comic Books NYC has a 0.5 AF-15. I know you'd love to have that, Reggie.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Comics NYC has that?
Pretty sure.
Bro, you've been holding out on me. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
I could be mistaken, but I think he just showed it off in a video.
That's actually quite impressive. I need to watch that video. So a couple of comments here. Tony Trebetta is making a point about how many more printings of a book have changed. I mean, I think definitely the advent of multiple prints was probably something that started in the 80s, definitely continued into the 90s, kind of seemed like to me died out a little bit, but it's basically returned with a vengeance where they're now doing, 5 printings of some things, 4 printings, which is kind of crazy. And then TJ Watson also makes the point here that about modern books and only getting 9.8s. Oh no, that was DS Comics about that, the 9.8s. Because I actually have a couple of questions. Sorry, I cut you off, White Will.
Yeah, no problem.
So I have a question. One of the things that I've been kind of asking people, partly because someone asked me and I didn't have an answer for it, is that when you think about values of comics, right? Part of what you think about is rarity, right? Rarity and just condition of book, right? Like if you look at a Daredevil #1, for example, there's some Daredevil #1s out there, but a lot of them are like really beaten, like really
ragged
down, just
yeah.
Staples, just ripped covers, right? That's because kids back in the day, they weren't preserving them. They were treating them like
they were magazines.
They were magazines, right? They were, something that you read and you chuck away, right? Now it's a little bit different, right? So the print runs of now versus then, yes, are lower, right? Or I should say low, but they're not small. And so as I think about the print quantities, and as I think about CGC slabbing to DS Comics' point of view about slabbing these modern books for 9.8 just white pages, the question becomes, what does future value of modern comics look like? Because it might not be based upon rarity, and it may not be based upon condition. So how do you value modern comics 15 years from now? That's where I'm struggling.
That is a head scratcher. A book that I talk about all the time, and it's not just because I'm bitter that I don't own it, is Captain Marvel 17, the second print version, which is the first Kamala Khan cover.
Mm-hmm.
And just how outrageously expensive that book has become.
Yep.
And to DS Comics' point that he only buys 9.8s, there was a 9.2 in that Comic Links auction that just ended. And I thought about bidding on it because I don't want to put that kind of money into a 9.8 of that book. But even at a 9.2, it's still like I didn't buy it because I realized like I can put that money towards the Marvel Spotlight 5 that I want.
Yep.
And I feel like that's a better use of my money because it's volatile. Like you look at, even in the 90s, look at the Wizard top 10. If you go back and look at some of those lists, sure, like New Mutants 98's on a lot of them, and that certainly has held its value, if not increased. But
yep.
Gen 13 #1 used to be a $50-$100 book in the 90s.
Really?
Yeah. I remember that was like a cornerstone of my collection because I bought it off the rack and it was like $75 or something at one point.
That is crazy.
I mean, the chat can correct me if I'm wrong.
You talking about this one right here?
No, Gen 13.
Oh, Gen 13. Oh, okay. Number 1.
Did I say Generation X? I'm sorry.
Brother, I may have heard you incorrectly. You could have said it correctly.
No, that book was never worth anything.
Yeah, but it's like that's my struggle. I don't know how people are going to value these comics back in the day. Oh, very nice. 9.8. Yeah. You win that one.
Yeah. I mean, I had to buy it. It was super cheap. I got it with eBay bucks too. So it was technically free.
that eBay bucks is a good move, brother. So here's another point that someone brought up to me earlier today, and I think it was an interesting one. And I don't know that anyone's talked about it before. A lot of people have made the comments about how movies, for example, is why prices have shot up the way that they have. And I definitely think that there's something to it. People have talked about speculators entering the market, buying up books, et cetera, et cetera. But someone earlier today raised a good point. And what they talked about were foreign collectors buying US-based books. The same way that in like New York and I think California, you see Chinese nationals actually buying real estate as an investment. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder how much influence, uh, whether it be speculators or collectors outside of the US, are buying up our books and thus affecting the prices here as well. Thoughts on that?
Um, caught me off guard with that one. Yeah, if that's if that if that's the case, it's certainly possible. It comes down probably to exchange rates too.
Yeah.
So if the dollar is weaker to their currency and they can buy, um, something like gold is a worldwide thing,
Yep.
but you buy a comic book, that's probably going to be a US based thing. So if you can buy it in a US dollar and your currency is, if you get a good exchange rate, then all of a sudden you have an investment that has um, already has equity in it.
Like euro.
Am I thinking about that correctly?
And like Jeffrey here is making a comment about he has a cousin in Korea, uh, that told me and American comics are getting really big there, right? And I definitely think that there's something to it, right? It's influencing pop culture. It's the movies that are happening. Like I know, for example, like Australia is big on bodybuilding. Like there's like an explosion there. There's an explosion in bodybuilding, for example, in the Middle East. And so I think that a lot of these things that are happening in the US are catching on in other countries. And I have to believe that that is also having some influence, right? The euro exchange rate at one point was what? It was a pretty handsome return, right? Pretty handsome exchange rate. And you have to believe that there are people with euros that are interested in comics and could theoretically be buying up comics here, which pushes up our price. It's just what I don't know is how to test that theory.
Yeah. Jeffrey kind of stole my point I was just about to make, is that the movies have definitely opened up the characters to a more worldwide audience for sure.
What was it, Black Panther? How much did Black Panther make?
Not as much as Furious 7.
And yeah, well, that's true. But
Chinese market loves Fast and the Furious for some reason.
No doubt about that. But the point was, and I think the valid point is I think the movies are definitely exposing people worldwide to the source material, and I think making maybe the source material much more attractive for people. And so that's just the point that was raised earlier that I don't think have been discussed or debated, at least as far as I was concerned. And so I think that there's something there, and I think Comic Book NYC says that Black Panther made over $1 billion, and that could not have been just U.S. alone. So,
no. Outside the USA, Venom. Yeah, I heard that as well.
I think there may be something to it. I don't know how to measure it, but I think that one of the points that I made is that so much of what happens to comic books is multifactorial. I think it's very difficult to say it's this or it's that. I think that there's a convergence of things that are happening that are influencing.
TJ says, I hate that movies affect price with a passion. Yeah, I mean, I understand why they do. I just wish that wasn't the only factor that drives the market. Like you look at, if anyone uses the Key Collector app, 99% of the alerts are like, this has been optioned, or this character is going to be in this thing, or whatever. And then the other 1% is like, Donny Cates said this thing, so it's going to be a hot book. So like, what is popular within comics and what used to be that, the comic itself drove the price is not the case anymore.
That is very legit, brother. That is very legit. Because I mean, the thing is, just because it's optioned doesn't mean it will ever see the light of day.
For sure. But like there are books that have been optioned for years, and studios just buy the rights just to have them. And sometimes they buy them literally to sit on them, knowingly to sit on them, because they don't want someone else to make them.
Yep. And that's the thing is, and if that is part of what's driving prices, and I believe that it is, what do you do in those cases? Like I personally don't react to those things, because I mean, that is a conscious decision that I've made to not jump at those option things. I'm just not doing it because I feel like you're chasing something that may never materialize, you know?
Yeah. And
And it,
furthermore, especially if it's like a book or a character you're not interested in, and you're just like, oh, I need to have that now because it's an important book. But
or a publisher you've never even heard of.
sure.
You know, because I think a lot of the small publishers, at least from what I've been seeing, seem to be the ones that are getting optioned. And it's like, who knows if that'll ever be made into a movie, you know, or a TV
Yeah.
show. Can they even make a script, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that there's no doubt that TVs and movies, either rightly or wrongly, have had a huge impact. But it's also like you can't even turn on the TV, honestly, without seeing something that's been influenced by comics, which I think is also, I mean, is that good or bad? I don't know. Like you look at Runaways and you look at Gifted and you look at, you know, there's like the Spider-Man cartoons now that are popping up on YouTube. I mean, it's everywhere.
Just want to say hello to my buddy Greg, who is in the chat there. He is one of the guys on the podcast I plug a lot, First Issue Club. So thanks for stopping by, buddy. Is there a correlation between bloated comic prices and the seller speculation that newer, naive buyers will buy them blindly based on hearsay movie hype? I think that's a fine point. I think that a lot of people do that. I think that you look at, again, Key Collector app, they announce something, and I've watched this happen. I'll go on eBay and I'll watch every single auction get bought up.
Yep.
And I'm sure not all of those people are long-term collectors. There are people who think that there's going to be another Walking Dead #1 and that they're just waiting to cash in. And I don't think there is. I think Walking Dead #1 is an anomaly. And I think that we're not going to see that happen again, maybe ever.
And I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I don't think that you're speaking ill of Key Collector app.
No. I mean, I was obviously a subscriber. I use it and I love it, but
but I think there's a cautionary note there, right, around the speculation versus the actual value of a book, right? You can bite on speculation, but that doesn't mean that there's actual value attached to it. It doesn't even mean that the book is actually even good.
Yeah.
You know?
And in fact, I think I think the guy's name is Nick, right, who runs it.
Yeah.
I think he may have even gotten some feedback about that because in one of his recent posts, I don't know if you saw this, he said like,
Yep.
I'm not telling you to buy these books. You should buy them if you like them.
Yep.
And I'm not telling you you're going to make money on them, but like, and I think, you know, that's a fair self reflective thing where it's like, don't just buy this because I'm telling you that I heard this news. Because if you don't care about this book, don't buy it.
Yep. I mean, it's also hopefully protecting him from being sued as well, because somebody can argument that you said, Nick, that this is worth something, you know. So I think it's a good move on his part to put that disclaimer there, because you know someone could not be happy and decide going to pursue legal action. So I think it's a good move on his part, you know.
Walking Dead was a very nice fluke, yeah. And DS Comics says I think it'll drop in the coming years. Yeah, I've thought about selling mine quite a few times, but
oh, you have Walking Dead 1? That's cool.
I got it 9.8.
Shut up. Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Right there. Well, bam.
Crazy. Wow. Congrats. And I don't think I knew anyone that had that book. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got this. I didn't get it off the shelf. I got it off eBay about 3 months after it came out.
Wow.
So I got like the first 4 or 5 books in a lot. It's, you know, super cheap because back then it wasn't anything. And sent this in. So this was actually, I got this graded. There's a picture my wife took of me like after I got it, just like screaming, holding it up in the air.
That is crazy. Yeah, I'd have to sell that. No, I'm teasing. I'm just teasing. That is crazy, dude. I did not know you had that book.
Oh yeah, man.
And Wingnut makes the point that if you buy, I mean, Wingnut, I think that's definitely the point, right? Because at the end of the day, if you were to buy a book that you really like, if that book goes up $1, $5, $1,000, you're still going to be pleased with that book because you bought it because you really enjoy it. Versus a book that you don't care about that you bought, it was a speculative buy, and that book takes a nosedive. You might be disappointed because you wasted that money, you know. And I think that at the end of the day, you know, everyone has to do what they feel is the right thing to do for their collection. And for me, what I try to do is to buy things that I actually like, that are also sound investments, right? Because
Sure.
I want to preserve my money. I don't want to lose the money, right? So if I can preserve it and enjoy it, right, that's a sweet spot. Or go into it knowing I'm overpaying, but I don't care because I'm
Right.
going to
Yeah, and it's the copy I want.
yes.
And I've certainly bought books before because I found them at a really good price, just knowing that, like, you know, getting that feeling of getting the deal.
Yep.
And that's not always the best thing to do. I also want to just point out, we should probably capture this moment that TJ Watson just said that a CBCS book is beautiful. It came down to this. Walking Dead 9.8. It took that much for him to say that. I appreciate it, TJ.
That is awesome. He said, you should never sell that. It's beautiful. That's awesome. He said,
Yeah.
Comic Books NYC says that that's his collecting strategy philosophy for the most part as well. Very nice. And DS Comics says his as well. Only make his a 9.8.
TJ said, I don't sell, so if everything crashes, I still be happy. Yeah. You know, I don't, like, if I buy something because, like, I just bought that Spawn #1 newsstand edition because I don't know if you saw this video, Reggie. I was at a shop and I was looking through, I was looking for any sort of pre-code horror stuff just to see what they had. And they had these bins behind the counter of just random Golden Age stuff. And I'm flipping through it and there's 2 copies of Spawn #1 in there for some reason. And I pull them out and they're both marked $25, but one's a newsstand. And I was just like, I'm going to take, you know, I'm like, oh, there's Spawns in here. They're like, oh, thanks. I'll pull those out. I was like, I'm going to buy this one if that's all right. And he's like, yeah, totally. I was like, all right, now it's at CGC because I'm gonna flip that.
That's a good move, brother. That's not bad at all.
But yeah, besides that, TJ, I agree. Like, I don't typically sell a lot of books because that's, like, I'm not a dealer. Like, I buy because I buy books I want and I buy books that I love.
Oh, DS, he's a nut.
Those towers of slabs are some of the most incredible things I've seen.
DS Comics has a great sense of humor. I definitely enjoy him. He is actually DS. They're coming to you, right? I think
Yeah.
The sketch cover variants as part of my community project. They are going from Alec this week to DS Comics down in Virginia. So definitely, I think they're going to pay a visit to one other person in Virginia, Backstreet and Backstreet Driver, and then they are coming home to me. So I'm definitely excited to see those. But I want to thank both of you guys for participating in this project.
Oh, for sure. It was a blast. And I sent Reggie a message the other day, and I feel kind of badly about it because I said, oh, you're going to want to slab one of these books backwards because I just knocked it out of the park on the drawing I did on the back of it. But then I was like, oh, man, now I feel like a jerk because like, I didn't want to make it sound like everyone else's stuff was bad on the front because the front looks great. But I was being a little braggadocious.
Nah, I never take that stuff that way. I mean, I think you can always tell, you know, for the most part, where someone's heart and intentions are. So I didn't take it that way. I was cracking up. I was like, this dude is over here killing this. I got excited to get the thing, you know. But DS Comics says it looks like they're actually going to get there on Friday of this week. So
very cool. Yeah, because the post office is closed tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Why? What's tomorrow?
In remembrance of H.W. Bush.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they probably would have been there Thursday otherwise, but
yeah, it's all
still.
Good. They've been gone for weeks now, so it's no big deal. I actually forgot about them at one point in time.
It has been a while.
It hasn't been. I need to look at the date of when they first went out. I want to say it had to be like October. They've been gone maybe longer. I need to look at the dates of when I sent them first to Matt. But
yeah, you should see who kept them the longest.
Honestly, most people haven't. Most people have been like turning them around. You know, they went down to Vegas, man, and I think like 4 people signed them down in Vegas in like 2 days. You know.
Comic Head said, "I'd like to see some White Whale art. Maybe I'll buy a sketch cover."
Oh, I can show you some White Whale art. I got one here. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
It's just under a pile of stuff. I'm glad you're treasuring it, Reggie.
Oh no, brother, I got it. I got it hidden back in the corner away from my kids, man.
I'm just joking.
Yeah. So here it is right here.
Great legend show in the house. What's up, brother?
This is an awesome piece. Let me put my mic back on. Awesome piece that White Whale hooks me up with. A little Galactus and Silver Surfer there. This thing is awesome. Super appreciative of that one.
My pleasure, buddy. I think even though it's small and not as finished, the piece I did on the comic is better than that.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to it because I actually really like this one. You know, the thing is that I have a lot of like Spider-Man stuff in here, so it was really cool to have something that was not Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was kind of hesitant to not do Spider-Man for you.
No, man, there's so much Spider-Man in this room right now. I didn't realize how much I was getting until it was all here, and I was like, oh, it's actually a lot.
That I showed you the Spidey I did for the Comicaholics, didn't I?
You say that again?
I showed you the Spider-Man I did for Comicaholics.
I don't think I saw that.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it on my phone on this, but
oh yeah, you did show me that one. I think that thing is slick.
Thanks, bro.
The poses for Spidey are like, that's a really cool pose, and I like the treatment of the web. That thing is cool. I
appreciate it. Thank you, Shane. Said that surfer is nice. A Comic Head says he's got those 2 characters tattooed on him. Well, I guess made a good choice for you.
No doubt.
I'm working next. I've got a number of AOKs that I have lined up for sketches. I'm working on one for TJ right now, which I'm pretty excited about.
Dude, you definitely have some talent. There's no doubt about it. It's like I wish I had that talent to be able to draw something like that. It's just not my skill set. So I appreciate and recognize anyone that has that talent. So definitely hats off to you, man.
I appreciate it, man. I'm out of practice a little bit, but TJ just asked me if I drew the White Whale logo. I did. I did that not for my channel. I actually did that years ago when I tried to self-publish a comic book. I made that as my logo.
Not when you tried to self-publish. When you actually published.
Well, yes, I did. They are physical copies, and I'll send some along to you, TJ. Where did White Whale name come from? DS says, I'm inspired to read him to do a sketch in the community book. You should, man. It's a lot of fun. White Whale name came from a couple. Go ahead.
No, he does. He has no artistic talent.
He's going to ruin it.
Go ahead. I cut you off.
That's okay. 2.5 X-Men. Yeah, Greg. So as a quick aside, before I tell a story about where White Whale came from, Greg's podcast did an awesome episode where they did pitches for comics, and they were just all joke pitches. And there was like the spin-off of X23, X69, and X420. And they did one called 2.5 X-Men. And so I did
That's awesome.
a drawing of that. Let me see if I can find it. 1 second.
Bueller.
What's up, Bueller? Come on. Where the heck is this thing? Here we go.
Oh,
NFX, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And that was a gift from me to their podcast, and they're supposed to be at some point making prints for it. So follow them on Instagram or Twitter if you're interested in getting one of these eventually.
Funny.
Greatest picture ever drawn.
That thing is that cool, man. What is it? Bake the Snakes. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Alec.
No, please.
No, Alec is. I'm sorry. Bake the Snake's making a point. I should do a video on the book. When are you talking to me or are you talking to White Whale? I wasn't sure who that was addressed to. Greatest picture ever from Gregory.
Should do a video on your book and the experience. Yeah, I'll do that if you're talking to me, Bake. So White Whale came from a couple places. I live in Massachusetts, which is New Bedford, Mass, is where Moby Dick starts. And there's also a song by a band I really like called Blood and Thunder by Mastodon, and it's about Moby Dick. And I also thought it was kind of fitting for like the thing that you're looking for that you're obsessed with, that you keep reaching for. So for all of those reasons, I thought it was appropriate.
Definitely.
Put a lot of thought into it, clearly.
Definitely a good name, brother. There's no doubt about that. All right, my man. I want to thank you for letting me jump on here and hang out with you for a little bit. It's been nice actually chatting with you face to face after months of us chatting via message. So
absolutely appreciate you jumping in.
For sure. Take care, everybody.
Later, Reggie. Comic Head, you live in New Bedford? That's awesome, man. I did not know that we had another Massachusettsite. I don't know what the correct term is for one who lives in Massachusetts. I used to live in Rhode Island, and now it's a Rhode Islander. That's easy. Genome presents you quoting Moby Dick over there. I dropped my R's with the best of them. Yeah, TJ messaged me the other day and he said, "Oh, I didn't know you were from Massachusetts. You don't have an accent." And I don't know why. I grew up in Rhode Island, so I do say Rhode Island weird, but that's how Rhode Islanders say it. But I don't say coffee or 40. I feel like I'm at a weird point in this chat now because I have 25 people watching, but I'm talking about how Rhode Islanders say the word 40. It's also weird with the lag when people type LOL. I don't know what they're laughing at. I don't know what joke landed. Oh, SWP Goat is from Mass too. Geez, the whole state's here. What part of Mass are you from, Goat? Comic Books NYC. Yeah, you told me you went to school in Boston. That's awesome. Boston is a rad city. I mean, it's a nightmare to drive in, but it's really cool to walk around in. Hey, Megan, what's up? I work with Megan. Thanks for joining. Great city for sure. Yeah. Trash people, but 25 people all just staring at me. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, went down to 24. Man, I lost one. Well, if anyone else wants to jump in, that's cool. Hyde Park section of Boston. Oh, very cool. You're right in the city. So I probably have gone to a lot of shops that you shop at. Yeah, Die issue number 1 tomorrow, 11 p.m. John's Comics with Kids channel with Jeffrey, Comic Con, Henson. We're talking about Die, not Die. Don't get it confused. Oh, wait a minute. We got someone wanting to jump in. Let me see if I still have his email saved. Oh, one moment, guys. Pre-ordered both covers with Die. Great art. I've only seen one cover, I think. Had to drop Die. Yeah, man, I don't know. About the role players who disappear. Yeah, they have to, something about them fighting something that is from their childhood when they played role-playing games. Yeah, we were going back and forth between doing Die or Shazam tomorrow, but I kind of talked John into doing Die because we enjoyed Middle West so much that we want to do another image book. And I like Stephanie Hans a lot, so I was... Why would you buy more than one cover? Good as Gold says. Typically, I don't, but I think sometimes if there are multiple covers that you just like the art of, because you just want to have them in your box, I get it. Because I certainly, like, I buy the Frizzen Wonder Womans. I don't actually read that series, but I just buy them because I like the covers so much, which I don't know if that's foolish or not. Oh, you live in NYC now. That's cool. You and Comic Books NYC made the same move. Yeah, exactly. I love so much comics. I buy multiple covers. If the art is good. I wouldn't buy multiple covers just for the sake of buying them, or like I typically don't buy ratio variants just because I don't want to spend that much for something that just came out. But I think it's good to support the art of the artists. You're like totally 100%. And I think especially what DC is doing with those B covers right now, with the mostly virgin covers, the artists are like, I bought a flash book a couple weeks ago that is just like a lone flash book in my collection right now because I like the cover so much. And I also got it for $1 on Black Friday, so can't beat that. Not all covers are equal. You got that right, Wingnut. There's some garbage covers out there. A lot of East Coasters here tonight. My 2019 resolution is to reduce my cover grab purchases. Yeah, and I'm trying to like avoid like buying books because I'm afraid of like the fear of missing out type of thing where I'm like, oh, this might go up to $20. Like, who cares? It's $20. Yeah, Frizzen is a powerhouse, and Middleton is ridiculous. The amount of different styles that he has shown on those Batgirl covers is mind-blowing. And Art Drum for me, like I actually used to be not an Art Drum fan, but his recent Catwoman stuff has converted me. The last couple have been absolutely dynamite. The one where like Batman's head has like the twirl of Catwoman coming off of him. Sorry, I'm trying to get someone else in the chat. Wonder Woman has some great covers. Yeah. It's so frustrating looking back at some of the awesome Frizzen covers that, like, before they switched to the Virgin ones and has that like giant ugly like green Wonder Woman logo on it. It's like, oh man, if I could get this copy without that, I'd be so happy. I still bought some of them just because they're that good, but once they switched over to that format, like, really showcases the artwork. It's amazing. Putri's work on Red Hood has been great. Happy to see she's doing some Nightwing now. Love the Bat Family. Yeah. Yeah, they are picking good artists for those B covers without a doubt. They're not messing around with cool. Might have a couple more guests join in. Man, blowing up right now. Sorry guys, one moment. I think the Green Lantern, yeah. I think this will be worth the wait for you guys. Oh, another awkward pause. The 5 or 6 people left are going to be sorely disappointed in about 10 seconds. Maybe more. Comic Books NYC, I like the first 2 Green Lantern. Yeah, it was okay. I don't know. I think you watched that episode of Book Club. I was kind of on the fence about it. Oh, we got one person.
Oh, got it.
What's up, brother?
What's up, bro?
We got someone else who's going to be popping in a second too. We're going to be practically the Comic Core.
Uh-oh.
TM. Batgirl 28 Middleton. Yeah, all of the Middletons. Like, he is not let down with any of those covers. And people are excited to see you, Tony.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And look who else we got.
Oh, Bueller. What's up, Bueller?
What's going on, guys? How are you tonight?
Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
It's early here on the West Coast. You guys, you got that East Coast time. It's only like 8:40 over here.
It's almost midnight here, but I got the day off tomorrow, so let's rock and roll.
Well, that's always good. Tony, how are you? I never got the chance to talk to you in person before. Hope things are going well.
Oh, good, Bueller, man. I'm doing all right.
Right on.
So good to see you.
So I got to ask you, Tony, I've watched a few of your videos. So are we looking at, is this a basement you're in, or is this
It's my den. This is like my wife let me turn the living room into what I wanted.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Very understanding wife.
That's a keeper right there.
She stays in her room and I stay up in here with the boys. Me and the boys pretty much run this part.
Right on. Yeah, I saw a video like there's like kids running around in the background. I remember those days. My kids are all old and grown now, so so different. Grandkids are the next things on my list.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully not anytime soon. Like about 5 years away.
Yeah,
So.
I saw the other night on Comic Core when Paige popped in.
I know that was so. That was kind of strange.
Yeah, when they said, "Oh, you should come in," I was thinking to myself, "Oh, ha ha ha," and then like she shows up, I was like, "Oh, damn."
It was pretty funny because like after we got done and off air, she had called me like during the show because she had some news that she just got promoted at her job, and she wanted to tell me about it. And so after we got done on the off air. And I said, "Hey guys, I got to go because I'm going to talk to my daughter." And so I called her. She goes, "Dad, your friends are nerds." I go, "I know they are. We're all a bunch of nerds."
Like, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. I go, "Come on, Paige. We're not all as cool as a 22-year-old, doing her thing."
So is she going to be a permanent on there, or is that just a deal?
I told her, I said, once you're in the Comic Core, you're always in the Comic Core. So now she's stuck, but I don't think she'll be making a guest appearance anytime soon. She wasn't too interested in it, to be honest with you. She had fun. Don't get me wrong, but she could care less about comics. So
I had Comic Core invited me to be on that night, but I couldn't make it. So I think Matt subbed in for me.
Yeah, I think I heard you mention that before. That was too bad. It'd be cool to have you. That was kind of that show kind of got going.
Yeah, there was a lot of people on that panel that night.
That show went off the rails that night.
Yeah,
it was
sometimes
funny.
It does, sometimes it doesn't, and but we had a good time, and a lot of times I can, I'm when I do my videos on my stuff, I'm kind of focused on what I'm talking about and trying to get things across. And when I'm on the Comic Core, I can just kind of cut loose and just kind of roll with whatever comes to the top of my head and things. So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And there's some really good guys on there as well.
Yeah, this is kind of like Comic Core, except by the seat of my pants, because I don't know who's going to pop in. I don't know what we're going to talk about.
No, that's all right. That's pretty cool. I watched last week's the thing you did last week with John, and I didn't see it live, but I caught the rewind, and you guys were talking about like your channels and what you're focusing on and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that conversation. I watched it and just kind of where you guys are and what you guys want to do. And I love stuff like that, so I enjoyed that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm throwing this one up because you hit it up on John's channel the other day. So Whale is doing the push for 333 subs. So I'm throwing you out there.
Thank you. Yeah. People are always pushing for like round numbers. I'm pushing for 333.
Yeah, you left a comment on my coffee video that I thought was pretty funny. White Whale. I saw that. I go, come on, man.
Oh, that you casually gained twice as many subscribers in a month than I have total.
Yeah, I was like, I read that. It's like, man, don't say stuff like that.
I mean, definitely well deserved that you're getting that many subs. You put out excellent content consistently. So
you put out so much content, man. It's like I can't watch all of it. I'm like, all right. I wake up, you got a video on, and it's like I enjoy watching that, and it's like later on is another video, and it's like. And I always joke with Reggie. I always tell Reggie I gotta lock myself in my office at work just so I can watch videos.
Yeah, Reggie does the same thing though, man.
Yeah, he does a lot.
A day.
Yeah,
Reggie likes going live. He goes live quite a bit as well. And I'm only doing the live thing once a week, but I'm planning on doing a second live on Sunday sometime as a regular thing. And then one thing I've been doing, and I kind of told JD this because he reached out to me yesterday, I believe. And I've been stockpiling videos for 2019. So
really?
Yeah. So I'm getting ready. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. One of my resolutions is to kind of work smarter next year. And one thing I've been doing, a lot of people like those Just the Keys videos. And I've done a few of them. Well, I've actually done 15 of them that you guys haven't seen. And they're and they're all sitting there, and they're all going to be something to where I have to finish. They're shot. I have to finish editing them and stuff, but they're all shot. And then as of 2019, I'll release one every week, and I should have a steady stream of videos every single day for like the first 4 or 5 months of 2019. And by the time I get to the point where I have to have more, I'll be okay because I'll have yeah. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
You're like the Tupac of the YouTube community. You got stuff just stacked away.
Comic Head 84 says we're entering the golden age of comic YouTube. Yeah, man, I think so.
Yeah, that's gonna be
you
good.
Look at like even Bueller, you didn't start that long ago. Reddy didn't start that long ago. Like a lot of people who are getting big and really popular are still like in the scheme of things relatively new.
Yeah.
I started in. I think my first video was just I kind of consider it a throwaway video, to be honest with you. It was like probably in February of this year. And then I really didn't take anything seriously until probably April. And then I was like, okay, let's make a go of this. Let's set some goals and try to focus and get a better camera and get a microphone and get lighting and kind of, pay some more attention to it. And that's kind of what I did. And it pays off. It pays off. It makes a difference.
Got the same mic too, right? You got the Yeti Blue.
Yeah, I got the Yeti Blue. It's actually very cool. Me and my sister went and she helped me pick it out. She liked the color, so she's like, "Get the blue one." I was like, "Okay," because there was a silver one and a blue one. She's like, "Ooh, I like the blue one." I was like, "Whatever, just get that one."
Yeah, I'm really happy with that microphone.
I think like my first 5 videos were all throwaways. It's just like, "Hey, look at this! I got this in the mail today."
Yeah. I had a lot of those, and it just comes down to the point where okay, let's put a little more focus and time into it, and that's kind of here's the thing. I have time on my hands, and that having the time on your hands goes a long way. So I'm pretty blessed to have that time. I'm pretty much retired, and so I mean, pretty much what I do is, I now make YouTube videos in my mid-crisis 40s right now, and that's what it is. So
that's the dream, man.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it is. If you were to tell me I'd be doing this a year ago, I'd say you're full of it. But whatever, I'll take it. There's worse ways to experience this hobby and actually really enjoy it. And I really enjoy it. So
it's made me appreciate the collecting. I mean, I've been collecting my whole life, and it's made me appreciate it in a whole different way. Gino Present says he shot 6 videos with the new Hearthstone expansion tonight and realized his microphone was on mute the entire time.
Oh, I hate reshooting.
Yeah, that's the worst, man.
But the good news is you can, if you're doing something like streaming video games, you can always overdub it,
Yep. I've scrapped whole videos. I've done it. I've had whole videos uploaded that I've spent hours and hours doing. And I watched it on YouTube and I was on private, and I was like, "Man, this is not good." So I yanked it off and redid it. There's been a few of those over this year. So
yeah, there are a few videos of mine like I've nailed the first take, and there are others that like I almost threw my iPad out the window because I've had to record it like 8-9 times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember my first videos. I was using an iPad. Just a little iPad mini to shoot the video, and it was literally just stacked up on a bunch of like cardboard cereal boxes and stuff like that, just a big, like a 5 foot tall stack of boxes with the iPod sitting on top on a little like some Legos holding it upright, type thing. And that was
more or less what I do.
Setup.
I take those boxes behind me, I stack them up right over here, and then put my iPad on one of the stands. I put my graded comics on. And,
well, that's like I use my comic book boxes as my backdrops most of the time. When you see my videos, it's just my boxes, like
the BCW and a book. Boxes.
Hey, I tell you, man, those boxes come in handy. I use them all the time still for like when I do the coffee video, and I put a couple pictures on like Instagram of the setup, and it's literally just a bunch of stuff on like short boxes and short box lids and stuff like that. And that's how I set up that whole video.
Hey man, they're sturdy.
They are sturdy. It works very well.
Yeah, they hold up.
you gotta do what you gotta do. That's the way I look at it. So
TJ Watson says I use slabs as stands. Yeah. I mean, you got them to spare, right, TJ?
Speaking of TJ, all right. Well, you see when I posted my my Haunt 9.8 signed by Ryan Otley on Instagram?
Yeah, and then he posted a 9.9.
Yeah, he did 9.9. I was like, wow, TJ, I was like, the Slab Dragon got me.
Yeah, you can never compete.
That guy's gonna build a little apartment out of slabs or something like that, like walls of slabs and stuff like that with insulation and everything.
He was joking that he was gonna build a throne out of them.
That's awesome. Yeah, his collection is epic to say the least.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine having that many. I watched TJ's videos and you just see them all just piled up in the background, man. And it's so impressive. And it just shows you how much people just enjoy this hobby, and what it means to them to, take the time and take the money to, protect their books and enjoy their books and stuff like that. It's just awesome. It's so cool to see people dedicated to this, like we all are. So I enjoy it.
What's up, Economics and Comics? Thanks for joining in. So did Reggie convince you to start slabbing some books, Bueller?
No, it's just. It's just not at this point in my life. It doesn't really interest me. I went to a store and they had a whole box of slab comics and they were all $10 a piece and there was like 30 of them in the box and I almost bought one
just to have it.
Just to have it was and they're nothing special. They're just like random, books that they got slabbed, but there was some 9/8s in there and I'm thinking doesn't this cost like $20 or $30 to get slabbed?
That's less than the cost of sending them in.
Yeah. So I might buy one and like put it in my giveaway for December, just because people like to have them. But maybe someday. But honestly, I just like holding the books in my hands. And
I only slab them just like to like have like on my mantle back there, just for like when I come home from work, man. I like to look at that stuff and just like look at it, and like it's artwork to me at the end of the day. But like I'm like you, I like to read some of them because I've got stuff in my boxes that I just like to read. But like ones that I like plan on leaving to my kids, I slab and just leave up on the mantle, or I just put them anywhere.
Yeah, well, my kids don't want them, so that's why I'm not slabbing them. They've already told me. They're like, "Yeah, Dad, what's your god?" Boop, and they're going to comics, man. That's the first thing they're selling. They're like, oh, get rid of them.
Like, thanks a lot. Thanks for remembering me.
Yep, exactly. Hey, I love Signed Comics. That Bueller went bargain bin hunting today and grabbed some shiny in your honor of you. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I love those shiny covers, as you guys probably know.
Best cover of all time is shiny right here. Well, bam.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Generation X. I like that.
Yeah.
Did you see that one I pulled? I got that book out of the 50-cent box, and it was signed with the certificate in the book, like in between the pages.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Man, can't beat that.
Economics and
Comics. He's actually going to be my guest on Friday night on the live show. So I'm looking forward to having him on there. It should be a lot of fun. It should be sick.
Oh, he wants to jump in on this right now.
I can't say it like he does.
Oh, I love watching him when he says that. He's like, sick. I'll be like,
yeah, he's having a good time.
Gentlemen, want to bring in a fourth?
Why not?
That's what she said. I had to say it. Sorry.
It is the Comic Core, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is
about to get out of hand.
Slowly going into the Comic Core.
All right, Economics Comics. Invite is sent.
Cool. Yeah, I
want what he is smoking. Hey, it's legal. It's legal here in Massachusetts.
It's legal here in Oregon.
It's legal here in Oklahoma.
Well, there you go. That's legal everywhere
it's
now.
Still federally illegal. So
yeah. It's in Oregon. It's like really legal. Like you can just go in and buy it wherever you want type thing. If you're 20, I mean, it's I don't smoke marijuana myself. I haven't smoked in many years, but it's you can actually grow like 3 plants. Every person can grow 3 plants type of thing. Same. And it's been like that for a long time here in Oregon. So
yeah, our first like real official dispensaries just opened a couple weeks ago, but we voted on it in the last, not this election, but in the last presidential election was on the ballot initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like ours. And like, yeah, we got dispensaries everywhere. There's like people handing out cards and stuff. I'm like, look, man. Like a buddy of mine at work, he's like, yeah, this one right here, man. This is where you need to go. I'm like, dude, I don't smoke, but that's nice to know that.
Well, I will tell you this: when it went legal here in Oregon, they shut down a bridge down in the city, and there was like dispensaries handing out seeds to everybody on the bridge, and there was like a big party, like thousands of people were on the bridge celebrating. It's totally legal now, so that was kind of funny.
What's up? Thanks for joining in.
Economics and comic. What's up, bro?
Can you hear us, Bill?
Hang on a sec.
What's up? Thanks for joining in.
Is it doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but we can also hear us.
Can you hear us, Bill?
Yeah, I just don't know if should I turn my YouTube off?
Yeah.
Turn mute your YouTube,
yeah.
And then if you have headphones, put headphones in if you can hear us.
I turned the YouTube off.
Okay, that'll work
So
too.
if you can hear me, we're good.
Yeah,
Cool.
we hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
What's up?
How you doing?
This is sick.
Sick.
There you go.
And this is how it works then, I guess. Okay.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
pretty easy once you mute YouTube.
You guys
Yeah.
always talk about slabs, and I always feel out of it. No one ever says, hey, look at economics and slabs, dude.
I see some sweet ones right behind you.
Well, they don't say look at the Bueller slabs either, so don't feel bad.
Well, I'm surrounded. Like, you guys see some of you guys, your walls and stuff.
I've seen your Batman 10s. I was like, oh, them Batman dams. I was like, oh.
You know, I have like the whole X-Men collection too. I was going to show you it on your feed, Bueller, on Friday. Well, at least 1 through 10, because I know you're a big X-Men fan.
Oh yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
At least that's what I hear you talking about.
Yeah, I like it. You know, I like everything, man. I'm a lover of many things comics for the most part.
Those new books, the new number ones and stuff, just everything that's new. I'm loving them.
Yep, it's a good time to be a collector.
Greg said Missouri just passed marijuana, just bought stock in Twinkies and Cheetos.
Let me see something real fast.
It's you know, I think there's like more dispensaries in Oregon now than almost any other state, from what I understand.
Really?
I remember talking to when I interviewed Donnie Cates. I interviewed his girlfriend was there, Megan Hutchinson, I believe. And I'm talking to her like off camera, and I go, "Do you like here in Portland?" She goes, "Yeah, there's a dispensary right across the street." I go, "There's a dispensary across every street in Oregon." So
Yeah, it's like Dunkin' Donuts around here.
yeah, it's really easy to find.
I'm so jealous of that Cates interview, man. I want to meet him so bad.
He's a cool guy. He was, you know, the thing was, I didn't know it was him at first, and I had to ask him. I was like, "Are you Donnie Cates?"
Yeah, because we don't know like what a lot of creators look like.
Did he
Yeah.
have his pink hair back then? I can't remember. I don't remember your interview, but
No, it was bleach blonde, and you know, he's a smaller guy. You know, he's kind of small and stuff, and I figured it was him, but I wasn't 100% sure, and so I just went up and asked him, and I said, "Hey, are you Donnie Cates?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am." I go, "Hey, I'm here covering the Comic-Con for Rose City." I go, "If you have, I'm do a YouTube channel called Comics with Bueller," and he goes, "Oh yeah, you tweeted me last night, didn't you?" And I go, "Yeah, I did." He's like, "Okay, whenever you want to come by the booth, just stop by. We'll do an interview." I go, "Man, that sounds awesome. I'll be there in about an hour." So
That's
it was
awesome.
pretty cool.
that's
he was a
really
good guy.
cool.
Yeah. And Megan, like I said, Megan was there, and that's his girlfriend and stuff, and she was awesome. Just I've talked to her a couple times since I interviewed her, and she's doing great. And just the simple fact of we were pretty lucky with that con, and we had some nice names there, like Starlin and Conway, and Bendis was there, and just a ton of people, and they were all more than happy to take the time to sit down and talk with me. So I was very blessed to have that happen by far.
Very nice.
Man, I want to meet Jim Starlin.
Oh, me too.
That was like his Captain Marvel stuff, man. God, that's my dude right there.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I didn't know you liked Captain Marvel, Tony.
No.
Yeah, that's his favorite. That his favorite is the Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You guys think the movie's gonna be good or what?
The second trailer didn't blow me away.
Did the first?
I'm gonna say because like the only part in that trailer I liked was like when they showed Jude Law with the Captain Marvel emblem on his chest.
Yeah.
I was like, that was clean. I was like, that's nice.
I thought the first or the second trailer was better than the first. So it sparked my interest a little bit more. We're all gonna go see it. Let's just face it.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch it. Everybody is.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's Marvel. We're gonna see it. It ties in with all the other stuff going on. So
that's like my kids are bugging me right now to go see Into the Spider-Verse. They're like, we gotta go see Into the Spider-Verse. We gotta go see it.
Is that this Friday or next Friday?
I think it's this week.
Okay, I got some work to do then.
Dude, books are. I'm specking on that because books, anything that's related to that animation for all those Spider-Verse characters, they're going to skyrocket. I'm telling you, that movie is going to, all the female Spider characters, all the new introduced Spider-Verse, all that crazy stuff. Dude, those books they're going to go up fast from that movie.
Buy your books.
Only if they're books you want, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I actually, I'll admit that I haven't gone to a Marvel movie in the theater since the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
You ain't seen wait, but did you watch them at home? Like, have you seen Infinity War at home or?
I've not seen Infinity War.
What?
Oh my God!
Oh, no.
I think I'm leaving. I'm just joking. You have to, man. It's good.
Yeah, that's what I hear. My brother-in-law's on my case about watching it, but I don't know. I got nothing against them. It's just like I like reading comics for comics, and like I feel like the movies are just like something different to me.
So what you saw Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, right?
Yeah.
Did you like that one?
Yeah, it's fun. Like it was a good movie. I think for me, like most Marvel movies kind of fail in the third act. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was really entertaining, and then like they have to like, oh right, we have to like put a story in this, and then like the third act is just like it loses all the amusement and just turns into like this big CG fest.
He had a dance off to save the universe. Come on.
Yeah, I mean it was all right.
Well, that was we haven't had 3 yet, so I understand what he's saying. But I work at a shop a couple days a week, and the owner there is always saying the movies are killing comics, and from what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, that you like to read the stories, and I get it. I love to read the stories too, but I love, I'm instant gratification too. I like to watch the movies and special effects, but I'm on the fence about the whole movies destroying comics because I see people coming in all the time, new kids and stuff like that. Oh, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? They have no idea, but they want to, get in. So I understand what you're saying though. It's funner to read it. You kind of lose yourself, but I always lose myself in movies too. So
Craig said, I haven't seen Infinity War. Am I waiting for it to be on TBS?
It's going to be on Netflix here at the end of the month, isn't it?
Once it's on Netflix, I'll watch it.
Well, there you go. You're all set up. You can watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't think they're ruining comics. I think there's like this weird period where when they first came out that comics were really being influenced by the movies, where they made the X-Men look like the X-Men in the movies, and they made Nick Fury look like Nick Fury in the movies, and they became like extensions of the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
And then that stopped, and they started separating the two again. But then they did stuff like, clearly trying to lessen the appeal of Fantastic Four and the X-Men, and just like canceled those books. So in a way, they're still being influenced by the movie industry. But
what I found funny was like when the Inhumans TV show bombed. There's like, just kill all the Inhumans. Now we got the X-Men back.
Yeah, who needs them?
Yeah, I'm not. I like having both the options. I don't like the one thing, and I've talked about this before, and this is just the market that we live in now. I'm not tremendously in the same degree as far as how movies influence comics. I liked how it used to be back in, in the 80s when like comics as far as value went was like first appearances and the writer and the story. Now it's pretty much speculation books are all, or not all, but very highly depending on what happens in Hollywood. And it's just something that you have to, it is what it is. There's no way around it. And it's talking about that earlier. Made a lot of people a lot of money, but I like the old days when it was more, it's a new writer, it's a new storyline, or it's a first appearance. And I remember collecting back then. I enjoyed it. It was easier to follow along back then, I thought.
Comic Head said Preacher does not work for me as a show. Much better book. Yeah, I did not enjoy the Preacher show, and I don't think it is a fault of it not working as a show per se. I just think that the treatment of it was not correct for the tone of the book.
Now, what if I haven't read the Preacher book? Would I like the TV show?
Probably. My wife liked the show better than me.
Okay. Because I haven't read the Preacher book, but I've seen isn't that like on AMC or something like that?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
How you were saying how movies base the value, like for instance, I sold a first appearance of Carol Danvers on my auction.
Yeah.
And it because of that movie is why is it skyrocketing? You know what I mean? You could have easily bought a Marvel Superheroes 13 for cheap, like super cheap, dude.
Yeah.
And like Captain Marvel or Marvel Superheroes 12 was more expensive than 13, but now 13 is this giant in right now for keys. But I still think the stuff that you loved when you were younger, Bueller or Travis, whatever, it's still there though. I mean, first appearances, new writers, like when Donny Cates started Venom, dude, I freaked out, and like there's a new appearance of like Red Goblin or the Batman Who Laughs or stuff like that. That's stuff fire, you know what I mean? So it's still there, and that stuff isn't based in movies.
Yeah.
But I totally know what you're saying. Like my X-Men collection, right? I have like the whole thing, and it's all signed, and it's incredible. And as soon as Fox got bought out by Disney, dude, that collection skyrocketed because they know they're going to make good X-Men movies. So it's kind of like a teeter-totter, but what you still love is still there.
Yeah, it's still there. Like I was saying, it's I enjoyed the simpler time. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older, and now it's like you guys probably watch like Daz the Key Chaser. He does a bunch of videos, and he does videos like all the time. It's like hot book alert. And I watch every one, and every one he does is based on like something in Hollywood. Or the TV show or a movie. I can't keep track of all that stuff, and I don't know what's coming on. So that's why back in the good old days, I don't want to say good old days, but back when I was younger doing it, it was much easier and much more easier for me to handle. So that's why I liked it a little bit better.
Yeah, the weird thing about that is, you look at something like Preacher, and when that show got announced before it came out, the book shot way up.
Yeah.
And then people didn't like the show, and it leveled off. But a first appearance of a character that gets hot because just of the comic, I feel like that stays more steady. You guys agree with that?
Yeah. I think so. I think it's got a better foundation if it's based in the comic itself than the what movie's hitting the coming out or whatnot. Because the movie comes out and people are all excited for the movie, so it's all hot. And then eventually the movie dies down, of course, then the book kind of dies down with the movie as well. So the smart thing is this, you sell those books at the peak, and you're not left holding the bag when the fire kind of died down on it.
That's like when Age of Apocalypse came out, and that book just shot through the roof, and then like the movie tanked so bad, and then everybody was like,
$30 book now.
Yeah, you can just pick it up anywhere now.
Greg asked if we're worried about the Why the Last Man TV show being bad. So two things about that. Number one, I would love it to be good, but I don't like if it's bad. I still got the comic to read, so I'm still in the winners column there. But I think that for me, I am more excited about something like that. Like the Daredevil show is great, Punisher show. I feel like because comics are episodic in nature, that they lend themselves better to TV shows, and I think that longer series serve the storylines better.
Yeah.
But you also got to take into the fact that they're going to mold and manipulate what we know as comic book readers and turn that into something that somebody that doesn't know anything about comics would watch and enjoy. Like like you watch The Walking Dead, and Rick still has both hands and all of
Did you hear about that error in the last Walking Dead?
Yeah, where he's got two hands.
Yeah. There's like one little panel, he's got two hands.
It grows back.
Just temporarily. Yeah, TJ still upset about Daredevil. Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine about that today, and I don't know like how Netflix tracks that sort of stuff as far as like ratings go, but I'm surprised they canceled it. I got the impression it was really popular. That
was my favorite one out of those.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say something that's not very popular. I out of all the Netflix Marvel shows, I didn't really enjoy any of them.
Well, if you had to choose, which one?
If I had to choose, maybe the Punisher one, just because I'm a huge Punisher fan. But honestly, I watched the Daredevil one, and I don't think I connected with the main actor who played Daredevil. I think that's kind of where I fall off on some of these TV shows. I don't connect with the actor who's playing that character, because my belief, like a superhero, there's a big guy or whatnot. It just kind of, maybe it's just stereotyping or whatnot, but he just didn't fit the role to me, type thing, and it takes me out right away from the series. I think the one show I liked, and all the shows, I like the CW shows right now, probably the Flash, but the Black Lightning?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you watched that, but that show
it's pretty
great.
Good. It's pretty good. I like it.
I was connected from the very first episode of that, and I've watched all of them since. So I really enjoyed that one.
To me, going back to what you were saying about superheroes and stuff, I think people like Daredevil. For me, like I think they should be like leaner and more normally sized, because he's not. Yeah, what'd I say?
No, I'm just saying Daredevil for sure. I didn't ever think Daredevil was a bigger type guy. I always thought he was, like you're saying, lean and normal.
Same thing with Spider-Man, Hawkeye. Like these guys aren't, they're not Superman. They're not like these huge superpowered guys.
Now Luke Cage, though, when they did Luke Cage season 1, not season 2, but season 1, they nailed that out of the park. I don't care what nobody says. Luke Cage.
On that. Yeah. Season 1 was good.
Jessica Jones was great. Season 1.
I like Legion. Do you guys ever watch that?
Legion's phenomenal.
My kids.
I love that show.
That show's next level. That's like,
no one watches it either. Not a lot of people watch it.
It's like
they just go, what?
It's barely a Marvel show though.
Yeah, but it's like
great.
It messes with your mind constantly. I love that about it. You're constantly going, what is going on?
Yeah, my son watches that one. He's not a fan of comics, but he found that show and he actually likes it quite a bit without even knowing who any of the characters are. So I mean, it's got that appeal because it's kind of that psychedelic type show going on, kind of a mind bender. So he enjoys that one.
Comic books anyway.
Wait, TJ Watson said he loved all the shows, even Iron Fist. I did not like Iron Fist. I'm sorry.
Reggie was all about the later season of the second season of Iron Fist.
The first season killed it for me because it was just more about that family than it was Iron Fist, and there was less him using the Iron Fist in itself, and it was just like I'm here to see the action part of it. So.
It was a full season of origin story. It was just too much, dude.
Comic Books NYC said he thinks that Daredevil being canceled is a Disney maneuver because they're starting their own streaming service.
I heard that the only reason Daredevil and all those shows are on Netflix is they own them. So Disney, I don't think Disney bought the rights for them though. So maybe they did under the table, and that's why they're canceling it all. Because Daredevil cancellation doesn't make any sense.
I know that like in Disney World, Universal Studios still has that whole Marvel park because they own the rights, or they're under contract at least to have the amusements. So Disney is building like a Guardians of the Galaxy ride and stuff like that, but they can't have like Spider-Man and stuff in the park yet because Universal still has those rights under contract. So it might be the same sort of thing.
Is Universal and Fox connected?
No, I don't think so.
No, I think it's a different company.
The Universal, as far as I know, they only own She-Hulk as far as the rights to a character, as far as movie rights. That's why we haven't seen She-Hulk.
Forget She-Hulk. Where's
it's either Universal or Paramount or something like that.
Submariner. I need some Submariner to counteract this Aquaman. What's going on?
Man, Aquaman looks silly.
So I don't know if you guys see ever my movie review thing. Every once in a while I do a movie review with a couple
of twins.
The twins.
Yeah, I saw the one with the twins and it freaked me out.
Oh, dude,
I was like, what's happening?
They're so cool though. Weird. But they're really cool guys, man. But they I'm gonna see Aquaman on Monday, like 2 weeks before anybody. So I can't do a review on it, but I don't know, man. I hope that I know you said it looks silly, but I hope they kind of do pull like a Wonder Woman, you know?
Yeah.
Because I like Wonder Woman, but I don't know what you guys like, but I thought the Justice League movies were God.
Yeah, they were bad. They were bad.
Bad.
But my whole thing was like, whenever they did all those, I kept telling my kids, I was like, Aquaman's going to save the whole thing. Aquaman's going to save him. He's going to come through. And this is before they even announced a trailer or anything. I just said I had money on Aquaman
for his own show.
But it's funny that like everyone I've talked to has seen Justice League, which I have not. Everyone says like the Flash was the best part, and he's from a TV show.
Yeah. They actually should have gave the guy that plays on the TV show the role of the Flash in the movie.
Yeah.
That kid is the same kid?
Yeah.
No, it should be. No, it's not. He's different. He's a different dude, but he was good though. The guy that they got for the movie, but Grant Gustafson, I think it's Grant Gustafson or something. But the one that plays on the TV show should have been the one in the movie because he plays the Flash role.
Great good. Flash, yeah, he's really good.
Have they done that? Have they brought someone from a TV show right into a movie? I feel like they have. I just can't pick. Have they ever done that?
I don't think so. I thought the Flash was, but I guess not.
Maybe Lou Ferrigno in some weird Hulk movie or something.
Comic Crypto Stock says Netflix is going to go all in on Witcher and the Millar universe. Yeah, all those Mark Millar books.
Yeah, someone was saying that to me the other day too. There's so many spec old weird books that are getting picked up by, Netflix and all these TV channels. I think it's gonna get out of control.
Well, they picked up Rob Liefeld stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that's what we're talking about on Friday night, Bill. We're talking about spec books. That's our topic.
I know, we're kind of getting our practice. I was like I was like spec books. When he said that on the video, I'm like, oh shit. I know I do a spec thing, but
that's all right. This can be your rehearsal space.
Here's the thing: I don't do spec books at all. So I was going to kind of leave it up to you.
Well, hopefully we'll do it at the end, like all your other guests get about 10 minutes worth of your topic, and we'll just.
I'll give them a little bit longer.
We'll figure. I'm going to try to go like 4 hours with you. I know you got all these things. I'm going to try to keep you there. I'm going to just keep you there as long as I can.
I can't, man. I jump on the Comic Core at 7. No, I'll tell you one thing. We might have a big time guest on Friday night, and when I say a big time guest, I'm talking like major guest. I don't know for sure. We're supposed to find out.
They already kind of spoiled it.
Like artist, or are you talking about me on your show? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about a writer. Very big time writer in the comic industry that everyone's going to know who it is if we get them on there. And I think we should have found out tonight 100%. And then once we know for sure, then we can kind of let people know. And I think White Whale, he kind of knows. He kind of guessed the other day, but
right, that wasn't on their chat. That was one after.
Yeah, so that's nobody knows it for live. But here's the thing with writers and creators, you never want to say, oh yeah, they're going to be there, and then they have something going on and they don't make it. Right, so we try not to over promise and under deliver. We try not to do that. We try to under promise and over deliver. So
yeah.
Well, DM me the person.
Come on. And then Tony has a video out tomorrow. Guess what? Guess who's the guest? It's like, oh, look. And all the people on the comic will be like, damn it, Bueller.
Jeffrey Comic-Con is saying that he heard it on Seawood's live stream today, who it is. So he might have spilled the beans. But I'm still not going to say anything just in case.
Yeah, he might have. I haven't talked to those guys today because I know they were supposed to. Chad from the Comic Corps was supposed to be on a conference call with some creators and stuff like that. So I need to get talk with them and find out what they nailed down. So once I know for sure, then I'm definitely gonna say, hey, come check us out Friday night because we got an A-lister writer who's our guest. So I'm looking forward to it. If it happens, great. If not, we're still gonna have a good time.
That's really exciting.
Cool. If you guys can start that ball rolling, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'll be tuning in.
Definitely.
Yeah, here I'm building all this anticipation. Now everybody's gonna have to watch Friday night, 7:00 Pacific Standard Time, Comic Corps, right after Comics with Bueller at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time with Bill from Economics and Comics.
So we're starting at 5:30 your time is 6:30 my time. What is that? An hour and a half or an hour or something?
I don't know. Yeah, I usually go for like a little over an hour, like an hour and 10, hour and 15 minutes. And then I do my wardrobe change. And then I come to the Comic Con.
Yeah, there might be a couple wardrobe changes in our interview. Just like now.
Yeah.
You were talking about getting like a high-end guy. I was like, God, I got to get somebody good, And there's an Ace Con coming here in a month, but I met Randy Emberlin and I got to know him and his wife pretty well. And so I had he did a commission for me and he gave me, a few. I don't know if you guys got a commission. I'm sure you all have. And they take your phone number to call you when it's done if you're roaming around con. So he calls me and I'm like, yeah, got Emberlin's phone number, A year later, like a couple weeks ago, I call him. I'm like, I'm calling him. And I'm like, hey, Mr. Emberlin, I don't know if you remember me or not, but, and I go into the whole spiel trying to get him to be a guest. And he's a real busy guy. And he interpreted it as it's a phone interview. So he kept me on the phone for half an hour talking about Kirby and Stan Lee and all this stuff.
Yeah. You never record, I knew it.
No, and I didn't want to stop him. I'm like, oh, God, this is so good, for a comic. I'm like, oh, yes, Kirby, for little stories. And then I'm like, I told him, I said, sorry, but it's not a phone interview. And I had to stop him.
So I did not want to. I'll tell you, Randy Emberlin lives just a few miles away from me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he actually went to high school at my enemy high school. What, your rival high school? I went to Clackamas. He went to Putnam High School. Mm-hmm. And he was at Rose City Comic Con, and he was pissed. And I actually have footage of him because I interviewed him, but he told me not to show it because he was pissed because they left his name off the registry for the thing. And he was not happy about it because he helped start the Rose City Comic Con. So I have footage of him just jumping up and down and yelling and stuff because he's very animated guy.
That's nice crazy, guy. He's super nice. So to see that.
Very nice guy, but he was not happy at all that his name, because I didn't know he was there. I was like, I saw his booth and I go, oh, hi. I introduced myself and I go, I didn't even know you were here. And he's like, damn it. He goes, I told those guys, and he's like, you're not going to show this, are you? I go, no. And my camera's rolling the whole time. It's all set up. And I meant to go back and sit down with him to do an actual interview, one that he would be okay with. But time ran out, and I ran out of battery, so I didn't do it. But he just lives right down, I think, within 10 miles. He's from the Pacific Northwest. He lives in Portland. There's a lot of creators out here. It's crazy how, Brian Michael Bendis is 11 miles away. I've seen him riding his bike around type thing.
Wow.
And there's because we have Oni Press here. We have Dark Horse Comics here. We have Image Comics here.
Wow.
Besides Marvel and DC, we have the big guns, and they're literally just right down the street. So it's kind of nice to have all those creators here. So
that is cool, especially for that Comic-Con.
They actually have like creator nights at local coffee shops and bars where all these creators go and hang out like on Thursday night and just kind of talk about ideas and stuff. I've been meaning to go. And
why haven't you? I've heard you like coffee and comics.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like I was supposed to go, and I was like invited to go to one, and for some reason I wasn't able to make it. But that's kind of my one of my New Year's resolutions for 2019 to kind of get to know the creators and stuff a little bit more, at least the ones that are local around here. And like I think I told you this. I was supposed to interview this Mike Henderson, who was the artist of that Dead Man Logan that we reviewed. And he just lives right down the street as well. And I totally spaced on it. And he like messaged me, and I'm like, oh my God. So I still got to do that. And I felt kind of bad that I didn't have it done yet. So next year I'm going to be more focused and get the ball rolling and have more creators and artists, because they love talking about their stuff, and they should, because they're very proud of it. And
yeah, they should.
We're fans of it. So, I mean, it shouldn't be a problem.
Man, I need to get a chair that doesn't make you look so small. Look like a little kid sitting here.
Just pull the camera closer, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's like a giant.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. There we go.
Ah, yeah, there we go. He's still tall now.
Somebody said I heard Putnam High School are nothing but punks. That's from SWP Goat 99. Yeah, those Putnam High Schoolers, man. that was our rival. So I mean, I did have a lot of friends that went to Putnam High School, though. So some were okay. Actually, my best friend went to Putnam High School.
So, Bueller, are you going to any more cons or anything coming up?
There's a couple. There's I think it's called Heroes and Villains, which is a con that's coming up like in the I think the 1st of next year, like January 3rd or 4th. I might be going to that one, but they don't have really many creators there at this one as far as what I've seen, and I really kind of want to focus on talking to creators. I've talked to some celebrities and actors and actresses and stuff.
Yeah,
but I kind of look at it. I don't know if it fits with the comic book channel. Obviously, if it's like Jason Momoa and stuff like that, that'd be awesome to talk to him. And I actually did talk to him when he was here, but it was off camera. And a lot of those guys, they'll talk to you, but they won't talk to you on camera.
Right, because they get paid to do that.
See, I met him in Dallas, Momoa. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, they get paid to do it, and their publicist is all, oh, we're not doing interviews. And I'm like, oh, I'm not. I'm just here to say hello and tell them thank you for coming to our city type thing. And they're very nice. But with the creators and artists and writers, I mean, I've never had any one of them say no. They've all said, yeah, I'd love to, or just come on back when I don't have people, and I'll sit down and talk with you. And so that's kind of what I look at. And there was actually a couple cons just recently, and there really wasn't any creators and stuff. And I know these cons, the smaller cons around here, have kind of gone the way of there's hardly any comic books. And so you go there, and there's all these, you can buy car insurance instead of comic books and stuff. So I'm not going to spend $40, for, I don't like somebody to spend $40 to go in, and the first thing you see is a State Farm car insurance booth. It's like, give me a break, it doesn't interest me.
Yeah,
but I'm definitely going to the C2E2. That's the one that.
I'll be there.
Yeah, so a lot of people are going to that one, and I'm looking forward to that. And
we're going to try to go to Baltimore next year.
Baltimore, the guys who went to Baltimore, that looked like a great con.
It's an awesome con. I've been there once before.
Yeah. The thing is, and all the guys that are going, like in the Comic Core, everybody's going. And if I get invited to a con, like the Rose City, they invited me to cover their con, and Wizard World invited me to cover their con, I kind of go there as an employee for them. And that's the way I look at it. I don't buy anything. I'm there to cover their con. They invited me to go there. They invited me to shoot footage and do stuff for their con. And that's the way I look at it. So if that's the case with the C2E2, I'm going to treat it the same way. I'm going to go there. I'm going to cover the con because they use my footage. It's like, I put them on my YouTube, and then Wizard World is showing the footage on their website that I shot type thing. And same with the Rose City. They take it and I go, here's all the footage. Do whatever you want with it type thing. I'll put your logo, I'll edit. And that's what they do. And that's the kind of the way I look at it. I think I owe it to them for inviting me to cover the con. And that's the kind of the way I look at it. So I go there and try to be as professional as I can, not step on anybody's toes, and really focus and try to provide really good coverage.
Did they pay for everything or stay and everything?
Well, right now, like Rose City, which was local, so they didn't have to pay for anything like that, and they give me passes and whatever I need and stuff. So it didn't cost anything out of pocket to do Rose City. Same with Wizard World, C2E2. We've already got like a Airbnb down there, a bunch of us and stuff. It's already all set up from what I understand. And pretty much the only thing I have to pay for is the plane ticket to get my butt to Chicago and to get my butt back. And that's about it. So should be a good time.
I just want to say hi to some quick people. Uncanny Kyle Waka, Brett Hess Art, C. Woodard, Brandon Stolinsky, Connie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. I think I'm about to wrap up, though, because it is 12:35 here on the EST.
Hey, C. Woodard. How's it going, man?
But,
hey, C. Wood, were you able to announce our guest, or are we still not able to verify that? Let me know in the chat if we are. Because somebody said you might have said something on your channel tonight.
Oh, the New York, home of the New York Warriors auction just ended. That's why all these people are joining in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot to buy something.
The elusive white whale. Am I elusive? I mean, by my name I am, but still give a thumbs up. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you. Blame legend.
You gotta watch out for the legend.
Yeah.
One quick thing before we go.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
So we were talking about celebrities. So what is y'all's take on celebrity autographs on comic books?
I think it's a defect. Not, I mean, like, if you get it graded, like, it should be a green label. It should say like writing on comic.
I think it's. I don't like it either, but I just have this thing. So at Ace, I've been talking about like Loki the Necro God over and over and over again, because I think there's like next year they're going to explode in this whole nother thing with Venom and Loki, and it's like next year's comics. That's to look like the new Secret Wars, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, at AceCon, what's his name? Loki, the actor, is going to be there. And I thought it would be funny to have him sign it. I probably won't get it graded, just to have him sign it and ask him if he knows anything about the Necro God or anything about comics at all, to be honest with you. I want to like know the answer to that.
I know a lot of the guys, like I've seen interviews with them talking about how they at least have read up on the character. TJ Watson says if it's a photo cover of the celebrity, that to me would make sense. But yeah, like if you just get like a random issue of Aquaman signed by Jason Momoa, then that's just a scribble on a comic.
Well, dude, all those Aquamans with Middleton and all those other guys, I mean, it looks exactly like them.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, I wouldn't pay for it.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like buying books that are already signed in the 50-cent bin. That's the only
about, dude, you're always saying more finds a 50-cent bin. Dude, you are in the luckiest place on earth if they have 50-cent bins, dude. Everywhere I go, it's $1 bin. There are no 50-cent bins.
All right. So you know my videos, the 50-cent haul videos that I put out on Sunday?
Yeah.
That thumbnail is a picture of the store that I go to and buy the 50-cent books from. There is 200 long boxes of 50-cent books constantly being replenished all the time. And that's just one location. There's a few other locations that are even closer to my house. But that thumbnail is an actual picture of a shop here in the Northwest.
I just never seen a 50-cent bin before. Every time you say it, I get pissed. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. Well, Jeffrey in the chat, he was with me a few months ago, And we went to that shop, and he sat there and was digging through those bins like it was Christmas time. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But I was going to say, like on autographs, as far on my end, I like finding autographs that are autographed to other people. I think that's kind of cool. You know, like, hey, this is autographed to Greg, and I'm like, hey, Greg. So I like buying like little things like that, you know. But it's when I look at autographs, to me, the autographs only mean something to me if there's something attached behind them. Like if I have a story that goes with it. I mean, I know a lot of people like go in line, they stand in line, they get an autograph, and that's great. But if I like have a moment with someone, you know, like I sit down with Jerry Conway and I interview him and we talk and all this stuff, and he autographs my 129 Amazing Spider-Man. That's the type of autograph I like. I like that much better than I just paid $50 and I'm in a line. It's a process, you know, just sign the thing and go. Those things have never really done much for me, so I kind of stay away from that. So all the autographs that I have that I enjoy actually have a little bit of story behind them, and that's kind of what I look for.
So I met
Kevin Eastman
at Boston a few years ago, and he was doing free sketches on any book if you brought it to him, which I thought was awesome because usually people charge an arm and a leg, and everyone was asking for turtles and whatever. And I asked for Krang, and he was so psyched. He's like, "No, ask for Krang." So I think kind of goes to your point, Bueller. That one's a special autograph for me because like we had a little moment.
Yeah, I love having something attached to it. You know, I sit there and like I had Jim Shooter autograph.
He's the best.
He autographed Secret Wars number 12 for me, and this is after we talked. And I spent like 2 days with the guy, and he autographed it. And then I gave that book to Reggie as just a bonus prize for him winning one of my contests. I'm like, here, Reggie. And then I sent Reggie a thumb drive, and on the thumb drive is the footage I never showed of me and him, of him signing that book and everything. And it's personalized. I go, Reggie, here, just in case you want to know, it's like little 30 seconds of Shooter autographing the book and showing it, and after we had our nice conversation and stuff like that. So stuff like that, to me, it just means a lot, when there's a little story behind it. And like I said, also those 50-cent fines that are autographed. I like those too.
Yeah, you could be making a killing right now with that 50-cent box. I know I would be.
the Bueller box. That's coming, man. I'm working on it.
There you go. Got it right there. The Bueller box.
That's what it is. I've already got like 50 people that wanted it. So
signed vest.
Yeah, the vest is all signed up. I don't know. It's right here. Actually, I'll show you. It's
now. Will you put everyone that did a super chat on there?
Yeah. See.
So I should be on there.
No, you're on there, man. You can see those names. It's starting to fill up.
Crazy.
Yeah, you're gonna run out of room real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't mind.
You know what? Right. I love signed comics in here. I've talked to him a couple times. I
bet you he loves signed comics.
Yeah, he shares like the same passion. I've watched some of his videos, and we kind of share the same passion. I think I sent him a comic too, but yeah, he's very passionate about it, and exactly like you're saying, Trav. If you're able to have the time and there's no one in a line, because when I go, I usually do collections, so I'll have like a huge stacks of these books, for Shooter, and no one's there, and I'm there with like for hours. It's the greatest thing. He's talking about Trippy and his dad flying a plane,
and he loves to talk.
Oh God! And the whole Black Spider-Man thing, and how he kind of was the one that did it all, and it's just I love.
Yeah,
there he is.
He loves to talk, man. He's a good guy. But I have a couple things, but my one autograph of Todd McFarlane of my Spider-Man #1. That has a really great story attached to it, and that book means the world to me because it's not because it's autographed, but because of the story that's attached to it. So, and that's kind of where my philosophy of autographs started, and that was back in high school.
Yeah. Well, I have a different thing with McFarlane because I live out here in Phoenix, so I've met the guy a million times, and I kind of know how he is. I get what you're saying though with the whole school story and all that. But yeah, whatever.
He's a it was a long time ago when I knew him. So,
Yeah,
but
sure.
he moved from Portland to Arizona.
Oh,
That's
I didn't know that.
That's where they went. I mean, they moved like in like 1994 is when they moved away from Portland over to Arizona type thing. So
Now you're Bill. You said the other day you're 43, right?
I think so.
What's your birthday? What's your birthday?
Actually, that's up in the air. To be honest with you, it's in July. We don't know the actual date.
So
date
that means that I'm actually older than you.
Of course you are. I can tell by looking at the picture.
Damn it!
Dunder Mifflin.
You gotta love it. You know what's so funny is I ordered this shirt and I got it yesterday and I put it on and I've been, while I'm doing YouTube videos and real estate crap and I have it on here on Netflix, right? And I've been watching it ever since I started the channel, the whole season. And I got my shirt, I put it on, and I watched. There was the last episode. Is that weird?
It is weird. Tony, how old are you, Tony? Are you in the same age range as we are?
Yeah, I'm 40, man. Yep.
I'm the baby here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 40, but yeah, my the thing with autographs is like I went to the Dallas Fan Expo and I'd been to a con before that. I'd went to the Wizard World Con that came here into Oklahoma City.
Did they have comics there?
Yeah, they had comics, but at that time I was like not into collecting, and it was just like I'd collected when I was younger, and then like when I went to Dallas, I got bit, man, and it was just like they were like Rob Liefeld's here, and I was like, what? And so like this right here is the book that got me back into collecting. I waited in line. And I don't care like I said, I don't care what anybody says about Rob Liefeld's artwork, but that guy is the coolest dude that I ever met. He was like nice to me and my son. We took a picture together for free. And it isn't like the video I did for Reggie's Why Do I Collect? It's in the actual thumbnail, the picture of me and Rob Liefeld. Yeah. And the card that came with this, he actually signed for free. The only thing I paid for was for this signature right here, was that.
Sure.
And he actually just like, once I got signed, and it was just like this the first book I bought like within like I'd say like 15 years that this was the first book I ever bought.
Yeah.
X-Force One. So when people talk about X-Force One, those are like coaster trays and they're in bags. I'm like, not this one. This one is like special. This is special.
It means something. It means something to you, man. That goes a long way.
Let me see the back of it. Oh, dude, you got the neck. Dude, you have the variant, the reverse cap. Those are rare, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's a negative black and white. Usually it's the other way around where it looks normal. So you got a really good one there.
What is normal? No, let's ask ourselves that question.
Well, just so you know, I'm not normal. You guys know that, I think. But that little cap thing is like reverse negative.
Oh yeah, it is.
The UPC, that's more rare. So it's like probably like a 1 in 20.
Yeah, 1 in 20 of a comic that they made 50 million copies of.
I'm just telling you.
Wait, I literally ran up to like a comic book vendor and I just like picked up two of them and I was like, this one looks the best. I'm taking this one. And then I was like, I went to the line and I ripped it open and like a guy looked at me like, why'd you rip that open? I was like, he's not signing the bag, man. He's going to sign the book.
Dude, I have a horrible Rob Liefeld story, and I'll make it fast. When I first time met him, I had like 3 or 4 Deadpools with me, and I'm waiting in this huge line, right? And there's a guy in front of me, and he's like, I can't wait to see that son of a bitch. And he's going off, dude. And I'm in a line for an hour and a half. And he's the guy right in front of me. And I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And he's like, oh, this guy, I can't wait to talk to him. And I'm like, what's going on? And he gets up there, and Liefeld's smiling. He's happy. And it's before he's superstar status now where every signature is $100 or whatever. So we get up there, and Liefeld's like, hey, and the guy's in front of me. And he's like, dude, how come you can't draw ankles and arms? And, dude, you can't draw on this and that. And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. Were you right about
no. And
why would you do that to someone?
Well, dude, he's a hater, dude. He's a hater. And his expression changed right when he got to me, and I'm holding these super keys. And I'm like, dude, I do not know that guy. I do not know. It like ruined his day right before me. Dude.
That's a bummer.
Oh man, you mean the dude behind that? Oh no,
Jesus. Yeah, people don't like his art. You know, I get it though.
That's fine, but like, leave the dude alone. He's doing his best.
Oh, he's doing great. I mean, he basically owns Deadpool. He's a millionaire now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That movie made him rich.
That's
well,
good to know.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you for all jumping in on a whim. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you so much. I thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's my first, whatever you want to call
First
it.
live stream.
You guys you de-virginized me. That's sick.
Hey, Bill, when we go off the air, don't leave, because we usually it's after air for just a couple minutes. So a lot of people, if the first time, they'll just click and they're gone.
I don't know if I want to see.
I'm just saying.
What are you trying to keep me in here for? All right,
no, it's nothing bad. But I'm just saying, a lot of people just leave. I remember Reggie's first time when he went live with us on Comic Core. We usually, after the show's over, we's like, "Oh, thanks, good show, appreciate it," and kind of just talk for a few minutes. As soon as we went off the air, he was gone. He's like, "Oh, I'm gone," and he did. I texted him. I said, "Dude, we're still here." He's like, "Oh, you are? I didn't know."
Okay.
So I got new Comic Book Day book club tomorrow night on John's Comics for Kids channel with Jeffrey Comic Con, and Thanatos, Matt, and I are doing The Cut Sunday night, which is our super secret mystery project, which isn't that super secret, but should be a lot of fun. Tony's got The Hunt on Friday, and so does Bueller's got his show going on Friday, so I hope you guys don't overlap.
Oh no, I'm trying not to. See, last time like we went up with the Comic Core, and I was like, we're gonna like kind of move it back a little bit so we can tail in the Comic Core.
So everyone's got a lot of cool stuff going on. I want to appreciate thank everyone for joining the chat, for the thumbs ups, sub up all these guys that do great work if you don't already, and have a great evening.
Later, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Y'all have
Bye.